Hey, this is Cameron, and welcome to the reaction log. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Alright, we got a special spicy one here to... Oh my god, Rick, what are you doing? Well, I had a special spicy one. I mean, Rick is in full garb right now, holding an electric guitar. This 300-year-old song kicked my butt. Oh, Rick, I can't do this video right now because I'm already doing another video on the sitar. Whoa, that's what we're talking about today. I just saw this on my homepage, and what a treat that is, just to be greeted with that in the morning. We'll come back to it, though. Rick, I really appreciate it. That ain't the Rick Beato video we're watching today. We are finally getting into Rick Beato's top 10 sitar songs of all time. I didn't know Rick was such a worldly man. He's talking about Eastern music. That's gonna be pretty cool. Now, personally, I don't really know much about Eastern music because I am a classical guitarist here on YouTube. What does it mean to be a classical guitarist? It means that in the classical world, you generally don't get as much respect as, let's say, a violinist or a pianist would, and I have sort of a complex about that. It hurts my feelings, it makes me feel bad, it reminds me of my childhood. So how I deal with that dismissal in my own culture, I will dismiss other cultures' music, and that makes me feel higher and mightier than everyone else. Alright, that's what it means to be a classical guitarist. Listen, I feel like my first exposure to sitar probably shouldn't be Rick Beato. So as a prerequisite to the Rick Beato video, we're first going to start with Ravi Shankar talks about the sitar on the BBC. As far as I'm concerned, he's kind of the Rick Beato of sitar, so if anyone's going to know what this instrument is, it's going to be him. Let's go ahead and jump into it, shall we?
It's beautifully carved as well.
Whoa, be careful there, you don't want to scratch your French polish on that luthier sitar.
Hollow inside.
Yes.
And this part is a gourd. This very fragile.
I don't know, my first impressions so far, we're getting a little close to Marson vibes right now. Before we know it, he's going to start tapping and doing behind the neck sweeps. Hey, it's hollow. Are we playing sitar yet? Let's see. By the way, look at that craftsmanship on this thing. Why don't guitars have this? Come on, guys. Luthiers. Is this gonna, like, affect the sound? Probably. I'm getting some wood envy over here.
Box. I travel with it in a just ordinary case, and I buy a ticket for it. It travels always next to me.
Oh, yes, with its own seatbelt on the plane.
Yes, of course, without it.
He has to buy an airline ticket just for a sitar, and you know what? That is how it should be. Don't at me on that. You know how much cargo space that thing is gonna take up? That'd be ridiculous.
And you see, these are all very delicate, beautiful work. It's done by a person called Nodu Malik. He only makes it for me. You know, it's a special. It's like a Stradivarius.
Dude, I don't want my luthier making any other guitars for any other person, alright? Sounds like Ravi might have some luthier envy. Did I hear that right? Is that true?
He only makes it for me. You know, it's a special.
Oh, okay. I think he's talking about just the engraving. Obviously, this guy probably makes sitars and, like, has to make a living somehow. And I assume Ravi isn't his one sole patron. Okay, I understand. It's a little flair as luthier gave it, just for him. That's sweet.
To play something like this when you were a young man, it was at a simpler
Oh, much
one
simpler.
then.
That was. You see another piece of gold here with an opening. You see, this is more or less like a sound box.
Looks like a sound sphere to me.
There's 6 main strings for playing, out of which 4 are for melody. And 2 are for rhythm and drone. And
This is a very interesting instrument so far.
underneath these strings, there are all these strings which are tuned by these little pegs.
How many?
13.
Whoa, dude, those are all just the... Wait, what am I hearing there?
And you,
That's
which hand? Do you play them with your left hand? The strings underneath, do you play those at all, or are they just vibrating as you play the
Yeah,
the
they are
top
known
string?
as sympathetic resonating strings. They vibrate, you see. So that gives a special, and you get overtones.
Oh, so it sounds like there's strings hidden behind the neck of the sitar there, just for the purpose of adding some extra resonance through sympathetic vibration. It's kind of like how when you go to Guitar Center and you go into the acoustic room and they have all the guitars sort of hanging up around you, and then you go to play one guitar and it just sounds so amazing in that room. You buy it and then take it home to your crappy apartment and play it again, and it sounds not as good as you remember. So the sitar is kind of like having Guitar Center just with you all the time. You're always in a room with a bunch of guitars hanging around in it. That's kind of nice. That's cool.
Also like this, for instance.
You know, with these frets, it's kind of like the most extreme scallop job ever. You never actually touch the wood. I bet you can shred some pretty serious ingve on this thing.
What is very important, I have to use little oil to lubricate. You have to put this little ring-like thing.
Little
We call it
plectrum, in a
plectrum,
way,
yeah.
yes.
Alright, so you gotta wrap like a little paper clip around your finger to use as the pick. And you also have special oil to put on your left hand. That's interesting. For classical guitar, you actually do something similar. Instead of using some like natural oil that you purchase at a store, you just use your face oil from your nose and your forehead. And it's mainly for your right hand nails that you would do that. But I'm telling you, go to any guitar recital and you'll see them always doing this. Also, Ravi, my lord, you got so much going on with this hand. First off, the pinky. Not sure if you use that for sitar. I would imagine not. I think you're just growing that. Which, like, respect, honestly. It's cool. I'm sure that you can use it as a screwdriver or something. Dude, you are decked out in jewelry, though. Like, how much does that thing cost you? Like $250,000? Look at that. What are you, a rapper? He is ice to the gills, son. Oh my lord. I'm surprised your luthier didn't just engrave your sitar with diamonds at this point. Seems like your style. With all that ice, I expect those plectrums to be made out of platinum or something.
What is very interesting on sitar is that you can play on the frets.
That's not unique to sitar, actually. On guitar, we do that too.
And get the same notes sometimes by not playing on the frets, but pulling them sideways.
Again, guitar does that. It's called bending. Wait, what's older, sitar or guitar? I have a feeling sitar is going to be older. Oh, I might have to eat my words here. The sitar is about 300 years old. Dude, I think like... Boom! Alright, this is the AI overview. I want to just go with that, but what are we really counting as a guitar? Probably like an early classical guitar. That's, So when was Soar around? Whoa, dude, I just googled Soar. Coincidence? Okay. Pretty even, honestly. Alright, well, I'm just saying, bending is not unique to sitar. That's all I wanted to say. Come at me, Ravi fans. I don't care. Leave some hate.
And that's what gives a very special effect of the bowed instrument or a vocal effect, like this, for instance.
Wow. Okay, guitar is bending, but not quite like that. That is freaking nuts. I'm almost scared to even attempt something like... I can't even do a half step. I wonder how low I have to go in order to do that. It's not possible on a guitar. Oh my god. Maybe on the high string? Let's see. No, I can't do it. You know, when I have my string tuned so low, it almost has like that kind of sitar characteristic that I just heard. I imagine those strings are pretty loose. They have to be. Wow, he is bending that thing though, even if it is loose. That's a lot of tension there.
It's a remarkable instrument, isn't it? But when you were a young man learning how to play for the first...
Dude, he's just like playing over. He doesn't care at all. She's just talking and he's just... I'm just like, what are you saying? I don't care.
That's the whole thing, you know. Ours is an oral tradition. It's not a written down music as in the West.
Hey, based on some of the guitarists you meet nowadays, you'd think Western music was an oral tradition, alright?
It's in classical because we have to do a lot of scale practices, you know, just the technique of it, like... Yes.
Wow, very interesting. There's a bend between each of those notes, too. Can I do that? Wow. Nope. I promise I can play scales, but we never play on guitar like that. It's always just across the frets. You know, interesting differences.
And these are simple things, you know, a lot of exercises and things like that. Each note is has a name, like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. We call it sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, sa. So solfege system, no? Sa, re, ga, re, za, re, ga, ma, ga, re, za, re, ga, re, za, re, za, ga, re, ga, sa, re, za, ma, ga, ma, re, ga, re, pa, ma, pa, ga, ma, ga, dha, ba, dha, ga, ma, pa, ma, ga, re, sa, ni, za, ni, da, pa. Speaking
of this music being an oral tradition, I feel like it's rare you find an instrumentalist who can also shred like solfege or something. That was pretty cool.
This is how the guru teaches us.
By the voice.
By
not
voice.
by written music.
Also
ever.
by, you know, demonstrating. But later on, It's no more, it is just vocalizing. And we have a language also, like the drums have a language, the tabla, you know, the accompanist, they have a language for each sound. Same way we also have for each stroke, like this is da, this is ra. So when we know exactly what the sounds are, the guru teaches us like da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da.
Very interesting. So the main difference I'm seeing between this and classical guitar, and I think it's in like the actual string tension, it's so easy to bend, because from what I'm hearing, there's a lot of microtonal elements in it. And this being a fretted instrument, I think the string tension is a way to get around having frets making like these very strict divisions of the octave and stuff. You can make it microtonal that way. It almost sounds like it's all based on the voice, and the instruments are almost just trying to replicate what the voice is doing as close as possible. Because obviously a voice can be extremely microtonal, especially when I'm singing. So that's kind of interesting. Like in classical guitar, you would basically never bend, except if you're playing some modern compositions, I guess. But generally in the main eras that we're playing, which is like Baroque, classical, romantic, bending just never comes up. And I would say the only microtonal stuff that you might get with guitar is sliding, especially in the romantic era, like all the glissandos and stuff. And that's like purposeful microtonal stuff. Like obviously there's going to be microtonal elements to anything you play on a guitar because it's not perfectly in tune all the time because we have equal temperament. But you know what I mean. We're not counting that as microtonal. This is very purposeful for effect microtones. So I don't know, kind of cool. Woo! Let me see his right hand for that. He's doing his finger like a pick, like up and down strokes there. So I guess that metal thing on your finger is just kind of a pick substitute. Kind of sounds like a Blink-182 riff.
And then once you've got the technique, you then have to learn how many ragas are there?
It's kind of a funny question. It's like after you learn all this guitar technique, there's how many pieces to learn? It's like, yeah, I mean, if you want to look at that as work, but that's kind of the fun part. Imagine if there weren't that many guitar pieces to learn and you just learned all this technique to learn like 2 or 3 things, right?
Then comes the most difficult part, because you really learn fixed composition in the Western sense, like guts, what we call for the instrument, and songs, you know, just songs in language Hindi. And these become your teacher later on, because each raga you learn a lot of different songs and guts. But then after many years, ultimate aim is to improvise, and this becomes just the vehicle for improvising. You take up a gut, which might be a very short gut of maybe 2 bars, or it could be a little longer gut of 16 bars, but that's all. But even that gut we don't play exactly the same way. Each time it's different. And what we do complete is anything from 50 to 80-90% improvised.
Okay, I think we're getting a nice little foundation in this kind of music. From my understanding, there's some parts that you play, like maybe sort of like the head of like a jazz tune, but then most of it's going to be improvised. I mean, just based on what I know, I assume you're going to pick like a scale and stay in that and move around in certain ways, but that's sort of the language that we're gathering from this. So I think after watching this short BBC video, we now have adequate information to judge this with the authority that I judge everything else that I learn about. So let's go to Rick Beato's video where he's going to show us his top 10 sitar songs of all time. I assume this is going to be top 10 ragas. I hope it's not all just Beatles tunes with like psychedelic sitar in the back.
So there's vocal effects, and then there's this. This is my voice. This is my voice.
This is my voice.
This is one of the craziest AI plugins that I actually use as a music producer.
If your music producer is using this, do you pay them still? Or like, like what? Imagine sending your tracks to someone and they just used AI over the whole thing. I assume he's not a professional producer, right? Like by music producer, we mean we're in our bedroom producing things, like kind of like how I go to the bathroom to produce poop. Just because it's produced doesn't mean it's worth anything at all. And in fact, it's disgusting and awful.
You can choose from 23 different styles of voices, and they're going to continue to release more styles.
The plugin is also equipped with 21 creative instruments.
Creative instruments. I don't know what the difference between that and an instrument is, but alright. Yeah, we're watching ads. I'm not getting paid for this ad either, but it is making this episode longer. What else we got?
Or beatbox.
Dude, Archie Beats sold out to the AI overlords. Never use him. Screw Archie Beats. Screw the other people too, but we didn't catch their name.
Right, I'll play you a snippet of my voice. Yeah, I'm a real man.
Yeah, I'm a real.
Same thing with Mystique Got Wave. Never hire her for anything at all. Oh my god.
Did I read somewhere that on Sound ID Voice AI we have a slap bass? I think it's time to slap it.
Oh my god, dude, wait, is this like... Hold on, is that the Scott bass guy? Are you serious right now? Hold on. Okay, no. Alright, different guy, drmix.com. Dude, thank god, like an actual bass educator on YouTube just selling out to AI. I was scared. Dude, I'm glad I found that out, because I don't mean to slander him or anything, but he looks... You gotta watch out for this guy, he looks just like you. Dude, no Sorehand's doppelganger better do some crazy effed up crap, because I look like a lot of people, like especially in 2025. Beard, long hair, dark features, white. Oof. I'm describing like a billion people, basically. Alright, moving on.
This is incredible!
Is it? It sounds awful. Alright, moving on.
Hey everybody!
Thank God, Rick, you're a sight for sore eyes after that one. Let's get into this with his electric sitar. I don't know, that's looking more like an electric guitar to me, because we just saw a sitar from Ravi. It didn't look like that. Also, oh dude, are those the strings from behind the neck right there? Oh, that's sick, dude. You just have them all right there. What's cool about that is you can feasibly strum it like you would that, except you can just do it right there, too. How much does an electric sitar cost? That's, surprisingly affordable. Very affordable. $800 for such a specialty instrument? Dude, wait, what? Or you can get this sitar on eBay for $224. That's unbelievable. Wow, I never knew. Alright, well, cool. I knocked off my friend there. Sorry about that. All right, Rick, let's see what you got.
Hey, everybody. I'm Rick Beato. In today's episode, we're going to count down the top 10 sitar songs of all time.
Yeah, dude. Oh, there's not going to be a single raga in this.
These are sitar songs that are used in rock music and popular music, which was really popularized by Ravi Shankar in the 1960s through his
Hey, there we go. Ravi, what's up?
Influence on the Beatles. You started seeing it in all different artists' music, beginning then and through today. But the original sitar was developed in the 18th century in India.
That might be Ravi's actual sitar right there. That's some Ravi-esque engraving. We know that. We learned about that recently.
This is an electric sitar. And how do you know what a sitar sounds like? Well, it's like... sounds like that.
Nice scale choice. Nice buzzing in the background, too. That thing sounds kind of bad.
Has that buzzy kind of sound to it.
Yeah, we know all about that. Put this thing in the hands of Tommy Emmanuel. All buzz, no notes.
When you hear it, you know it. Coming in at number 10, this song was actually on my top 20 acoustic guitar intros video, and it came out in 1974.
You know we'll have a good...
I'm sorry, guys, but I can't show you very much of any of these songs because I don't want to end up like Rick Beato and getting stricken down from copyright. Papa's got to get paid. I know, it's unfortunate. You know, it's funny hearing a sitar in this context, because it kind of just sounds like a crappy guitar. Like, there's nothing really sitar-y about it, like, especially musically. Like, it just sounds like a rock and roll pentatonic lick. None of the microtonal ornaments that we heard Ravi play. Just boo-dee-dee, bee-dee-dee-dee.
Song number 9 is off The Cure's Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me album, which came out in 1987. Here it is.
Yeah, again, it's like, what is this, 3 Days Grace using a sitar now? Hearing some, like, add 9 chords and stuff. Is this just gonna be every sitar song ever, and this is the top 10, because there's only, like, 10 of them? Dude, Ravi didn't influence that. That sounded nothing like Ravi.
All right. Is a song, and the whole melody is played.
Dude, it literally sounds like a guitar. It's mellow and like low passed and stuff. I literally know nothing about sitar, and even I'm like, all the characteristics of sitar are absent in this. What is this crap? I don't know, just like do this with an After Effect or something. Do you need an electric sitar for this? Just get an out-of-the-box Squier Stratocaster and don't set it up. And then it'll sound like this. Is it a thing that people who enjoy Indian classical music hate this? I could see them like really hating this. It just feels like such a lackluster use of a sitar sounding instrument. You're just playing it like a guitar. Like it's just a guitar, so why not just play a guitar? Rick Beato learned a lot of repertoire for this.
Great example of psychedelic pop.
Oh man, it sounds so lame to me.
Coming in at number 6, this song is on one of the biggest, it's a classic.
Dude, that classic Lars fill always gets me. Now this sounds cool. It's music written on and played on by a guitar, and it sounds good. I feel like just a clean guitar would do the job there, and it would sound better, honestly, because it wouldn't just sound stupid. I did not think this video would go this way. I thought I would be all Western elitism. I need to ditch the toot right now. I am a Westerner. Everything we do is correct, and that's how it is, and I just need to go into it.
Number 5, this song is really hard to play. It was released in 1968. It was a huge hit when I was a kid. Here it is.
Love the articulation there. Beep, beep, beep. Sounds like he took some guitar lessons from Marson on how to play melody. Beep, beep, beep. I took a guitar lesson from my microwave, and now I sound like Marson. I'm making fun of this. This is probably important for just, like he said, bringing sitar to the forefront of like Western culture, because it is a sound that we're all very familiar with. But I kind of want to see how a real sitarist plays some actual music on sitar. I want to see Ravi shred. Let's see Ravi shred, and then we're all gonna go home. Alright, so what do we have here? This is, I'm gonna pronounce all this, watch this. Raga Desh Mage, Ravi Shankar and Allah Rakha Raga 1968, remastered quality, SD. I'm just gonna listen to this, 10 minutes long. I'm not gonna show a whole lot of it because I'm sure he has a copyright on it, but I'll show like highlights of it, I guess. You know, just some first impressions. I'm noticing that in a lot of the rock pop, they're missing those huge bends that you're seeing. And he showed that in the beginning as well. And they're all just kind of playing it like you would a guitar, where like, and even less than how you'd play a guitar, because electric guitars, you bend all the time. But it seemed like when people played the electric sitar, there was no bending whatsoever. They were just kind of dink, 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 dink. And yeah, it takes a lot of the character out of what the instrument should sound like, in my non-informed opinion. Wow, dude. Hitting those pitches with such a great bend. That is like, it adds so much character to the sound. This is how a band should be, by the way. There's a percussionist playing the percussion, there's a sitarist playing the instrument, the solo part, and there's even a background person there too. Doesn't need to be a one-man band. And man, it all just comes together so much better, doesn't it? I'm like shooting shots at Marson right now. I'm also a classical guitarist, where the whole point of it is just being a one-man band. But, you know, besides the point. Another big difference I'm noticing between the pop rock using the sitar and the actual sitar is the articulation, and things are much more legato when Ravi is playing. Like, it seems like there's always this sort of connection of notes, and it's sort of a moment if there is an actual pause. But it seems like every note in these rock songs is just beep, 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 beep. I don't know, it just sounds like amateurish, you know? And that's a lot of rock music, honestly. If you really listen to the guitars, it just sounds like a 2-year student playing electric guitar. So I can tell when you compare this to the rock songs, like, this is actual artistry and nuance. There's a lot more to it than just plucking notes poorly. Even she's like, she's giving a little bit of stank face at him for that. listened to this kind of music before, I could see you being like, oh, this sounds kind of weird. How do you get into this? But once you do get used to the timbre of like the tabla and the sitar and all that, I think you'll find that the language is actually something that's pretty recognizable, because it's really just scales with repeated motifs and various rhythm changes, and it's all stuff that if you're invested in music already, like, you recognize all this. So go and check that out. You can also just listen to those rock tunes that have electric sitar in it, and that's fine too, but that's, you know, way more boring. Alright, I think that pretty much wraps this one up. So, of course, if you made it this far, be sure to subscribe and leave a like. You know, I probably tried to clickbait this video to see if I can get 1 billion views if everyone from India clicks on this, and if so, thanks for clicking, I appreciate it. Of course, gotta pick up some Augustine strings for your classical guitar. Best strings in the business, don't use Diodario. They are not good to me. Not sponsored by Augustine, but I want to be. Augustine, reach out. My email's in the description. Speaking of that, if you want guitar lessons, I'm not offering them because I just don't do that right now. But I do know people who are. My fellow grad students. I forgot to mention that I'm in grad school. I'm on winter break right now. Ooh, fun. But if you want some online classical guitar lessons, I can put you in contact with one of them. Be sure to pick up some Rootin's Delight Sore Hands merch for Christmas. Honest merch, honest Christmas gifts. 15% off for the whole month of December. And what else? I think that's everything. Alright, well, I'll see you in the next one.